Have you ever wondered if everything we've believed about the Warriors' off-season strategy has been turned on its head by forces we never saw coming? What if the very core of our championship identity is about to be reshaped by a move so audacious that it could define or derail an entire era? Will us die-hard fans even recognize the team that emerges from this seismic rumor? Greetings to all you die-hard Warriors out there. Welcome. Warriors News Fan Report is in the building. If you live and breathe Golden State hoops, smash that like button and subscribe right now so you never miss another pulse-pounding update on our beloved Dubs. Tonight, we're peering behind the curtain at a jaw-dropping rumor swirling in the trade simulator. Whispers that a two-time MVP might be tearing himself away from Milwaukee and landing in the Bay Area. The notion alone sounds almost too crazy to believe. Yet credible insiders on ESPN and various trade machines are humming, with speculation that this titan could soon be donning the royal blue and gold. Imagine the scene. Draymond Green arguing on live TV that pulling the trigger on this acquisition could instantly transform Golden State into a juggernaut, while others in the front office caution that gutting our depth might leave us vulnerable to an injury bug or unexpected playoff matchup. Last night's broadcast on Get Up featured Jay Williams and the ever-reliable Bobby Marks breaking down exactly how the money would align, if the Warriors were willing to sacrifice a Chris Paul-like haul of picks and young talent. And true to form, our very own Warriors News Fan Report trade expert has run the numbers through the Fanso trade machine, showing us in real time how this dream scenario could theoretically take shape. But here's where things get truly tantalizing. What if there's more to this rumor than just spreadsheet wizardry? Word on the street is that our mystery MVP made a surprise appearance at a private All-Star Weekend gathering hosted by none other than Steph Curry himself. Picture the unlikely sight of Giannis Antetokounmpo, widely regarded as the most dominant physical specimen in today's NBA, smiling and chatting with Draymond, Klay, and even owner Joe Lacob under San Francisco's skyline. Could it be a chance meeting or a carefully orchestrated signal that he's ready to embrace the Bay Area's bright lights and championship legacy? Fans are already dissecting every Instagram story, every sidelong glance, every offhand remark from Steph's camp. Could this be the first tangible clue that a switch has flipped in Milwaukee's locker room? Let's rewind. Antetokounmpo, fresh off another 30-point, 11-rebound campaign, reportedly grew frustrated with the Bucks' direction after their early playoff exit. Insiders claim he's primed to pull the trigger on a trade request, and his preferred landing spot appears to be Golden State, where he would not only chase another title but also reunite with Curry, his fellow Octagon client. Think about the basketball alchemy. Steph's gravity-drawing range, collapsing defenses, and Giannis, arguably the single most intimidating rim protector, rising for ferocious dunks and offensive rebounds. Could such a pairing redefine what it means to be a juggernaut in the West? Is it possible that Kerr's system, which has historically thrived on ball movement and spacing, could adapt seamlessly to accommodate a 6'11" behemoth whose very presence demands defensive concessions? Then there's the cap conundrum. Golden State already flirts with luxury tax thresholds thanks to max deals for Curry, Thompson, and Green. Bringing in a player owed over $50 million a season means navigating sign-and-trade architectures, veteran buyouts, and maybe even stretching a contract to create enough breathing room. The latest simulations suggest packaging. Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Podziemski, and Jonathan Kuminga, alongside a handful of first-rounders, could get the deal done, if Milwaukee is willing to swallow a short-term dip in potential while they build around draft assets. Some insiders believe the Bucks might even entertain taking back a player like Draymond or Jimmy Butler in a direct swap, though that route seems far less likely given positional overlaps and fit. Social media is already aflame. Dub Nation Twitter feeds overflow with mock-up jerseys featuring number 34 under our banner, while Reddit threads debate whether we would be wise to mortgage future depth for present-day glory. One camp insists that this is the kind of all-in maneuver that shaped the 2016 Cavaliers and 2019 Raptors, shaky off-season deals that reshaped legacies overnight. Others warn that dismantling a roster built on cohesion and spacing could backfire, leaving us vulnerable if injuries strike, or if the fit between Curry's catch-and-shoot wizardry and Giannis's mid-range elusiveness never fully materializes. Fans and pundits alike are dissecting the broader implications. Would acquiring Giannis force the Lakers to pivot from chasing perceived superstars and instead double down on young core development? Might the Suns tremble at the thought of this new juggernaut? Or will their own backcourt duo rise to the challenge? Every contender in the West is suddenly recalculating timelines and trajectories. And right here in Dub Nation, local bars are packed with conversations about how this potential trade could rewrite basketball history. But what do you think about all of this? Personally, as a Warriors supporter, I believe that, while the risks are enormous, the potential rewards outweigh the downsides. Bringing in a force like Giannis alongside Steph's transcendent shooting could create a blend of skill and power that few defenses can withstand. On the flip side, I understand the fear of losing our identity and depth. This franchise was built on shared sacrifice and unselfish play. If this deal does happen, it must be orchestrated with surgical precision to preserve the elements that made our dynasty possible. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already hit that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, do it now so you don't miss how this saga unfolds. As the trade chatter heats up, let's dive into what happens once the paperwork arrives and Giannis Antetokounmpo officially becomes a Warrior. First, imagine the ripple effect on our rotation. With Giannis's arrival, Steve Kerr would be tasked with redefining roles overnight. Steph Curry would maintain his status as the primary ball handler and floor-spacing sniper. But now, every defender in the league faces a dilemma. Stick with Steph on the perimeter, or collapse into the paint to contain Giannis's unstoppable drives. This dual threat could force opposing teams into impossible choices, double-team one, and risk a wide-open three from the other. Klay Thompson, ever the deadly catch-and-shoot specialist, would likely see his role refined to laser-focused spot-up shooting, pulling defenders out and creating more driving lanes for Giannis. Meanwhile, Draymond Green, already nicknamed D-Emperor, for his defensive wizardry, would morph into a hyper-focused facilitator, orchestrating offense from the top of the key and coordinating the scrambling defense needed when Giannis shrinks out to the perimeter. On paper, this alignment looks unstoppable, but midseason chemistry is never guaranteed. Historical precedents remind us that even the most talented rosters can stumble when roles overlap. Will Draymond embrace a reduced playmaking role, ceding touches to Giannis? Can Klay adapt if his catch-and-shoot opportunities dip? And what about our bench? Will Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga see their minutes evaporate, leaving us vulnerable if injuries strike? These are not trivial concerns. A championship team relies on depth, and the margin for error in the postseason is razor-thin. Every coach in the Pacific Division would instantly pivot defensive schemes, emphasizing disciplined drop coverage to contain Giannis while daring shooters to beat them from downtown. The ability to execute that type of nuanced defense consistently could decide whether we coast to the finals or stumble in the conference semis. But let's consider the financial gymnastics that made this possible. Golden State's front office would have to navigate luxury tax penalties that dwarf anything we've paid in recent memory. To absorb Giannis's max salary contract, they'd need sign-and-trade creativity, perhaps packaging Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Podziemski, and Jonathan Kuminga alongside a string of future first-round picks. Veteran buyouts could free immediate cap space, but sacrificing depth to pay luxury tax bills could hamper in-season flexibility. We all know how Robert Sarver's ill-fated decisions on luxury tax-laden rosters backfired in Phoenix. We can't let that become our story. Yet, ownership's willingness to absorb short-term pain for long-term glory might tip the scales. After all, the brand value of a Warriors roster featuring Steph and Giannis on the same court is immeasurable. Merchandise sales would skyrocket, local TV ratings would break records, and every road game would feel like a finals preview. Imagine the economic boon for the Bay Area, from hotel occupancy to restaurant bookings. The ripple effect extends far beyond the court. Speaking of rivalries, the Lakers would feel the impact immediately. LeBron James and Anthony Davis would stare across the Coliseum and see their blueprint for success eclipsed by Golden State's two-headed monster. Would Los Angeles pivot to chase another superstar, or double down on nurturing young talents like Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, hoping that a cohesive unit can outlast a star-studded juggernaut? To our north, the Suns would scramble, questioning whether Devin Booker and Kevin Durant can withstand the gravitational pull of a Steph and Giannis pairing. The ripple effects extend even to smaller market teams. Oklahoma City might push for Jalen Williams to become their fulcrum, while Minnesota would wonder if Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns can match up with our thunderous inside-out game. Off the court, media narratives would shift overnight. National sports shows would dedicate entire segments to dissecting every pick and prospect we surrendered. Fan forums would explode with debates over whether we sacrificed too much future promise for an immediate title push. Social media would showcase highlight reels, Giannis posterizing opponents, Steph hitting step-back threes, and Draymond orchestrating defensive masterpieces. Analysts would debate the sustainability of this super team. Can the combination of two perennial MVP candidates and one defensive stalwart withstand the grind of an 82-game season plus deep playoff runs? History tells us that teams built around superstars often peak quickly and then fade as injuries and age catch up. Consider the big-name rosters of the early 2000s. Star-laden, but chemistry crippled. We must hope that our existing culture of unselfish play and championship pedigree prevents that fate. Ultimately, this trade comes down to one question. Are we willing to sacrifice long-term flexibility and depth for the tantalizing chance at an immediate dynasty extension? Personally, as a Warriors supporter, I believe that adding a generational talent like Giannis alongside Curry could propel us into an era of basketball dominance that history will remember forever. Yes, the risks are enormous. Luxury tax hell, reduced bench depth, and potential chemistry clashes. But the opportunity to witness Curry hitting transition threes while Giannis duels at the rim is too intoxicating to ignore. It's a blue or gold or bust moment that asks, how far are we willing to go for a championship that matters? I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think this is the boldest, bravest move Golden State could make? Or a gamble that jeopardizes everything we've built? Remember to hit that like button, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring the notification bell so you stay in the loop on this seismic saga. Until next time, stay golden.